Hey everyone, welcome to my show, A Taste with Tamerlee. I am Tamerlee, I am your host. I'm a 52-year-old model, actress, and content creator, but I love to cook. And I love to create recipes in the kitchen that are healthy, nutritious, delicious, easy to make, and even easier on the pocketbook. Are you ready? Let's get cooking! In today's episode, we're starting with something different, and I'm showing you the finished product first. So today we are going to be making some healthy protein banana muffins. And the flavor from this comes from Greek yogurt and a secret ingredient. And I'm going to share that with you next. Are you ready? Let's get cooking. 1.5 cups of white flour, half of a cup of vanilla protein powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 of a cup of honey, 1/4 of a cup of sugar-free syrup, 1.5 cups of overripe bananas, half of a cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, 1/3 of a cup of applesauce, 3/4 of a cup of mini chocolate chips, or half of a cup of chopped nuts. All right, and here we are. We are ready to put these delicious muffins together. If you are like me and busy and on the go, having foods that are ready prepared for you for snacks and especially for breakfast is definitely a time saver for me. And this muffin hits the mark with that. These are protein banana muffins. And the base of this starts with some overripe bananas. Now, usually I have some of these in my freezer. So when a banana's like this and I'm not going to eat this, I throw them in the freezer in a plastic bag, and they're great for smoothies and for recipes like this. And my favorite way to just chop up these bananas is just to put them in a blender. So for this recipe, it calls for 1.5 cups of bananas, and that equates to about 4 to 5 large size bananas. And I have 4, so we're gonna make that work for today. So Donte, do you like banana muffins?
Oh, yeah.
And you're on the go too, so this recipe would be perfect for you. So the browner the banana, the sweeter the flavor. So do not get rid of those overripe bananas. Stick them in the freezer. So you can mash these up with a spoon if you would like, but I just like to use my blender. So we're going to pulsate this. All right, now that our bananas are all pulsated and ready to go, we are going to start putting together our wet ingredients. So we're going to pour that banana goodness right in there. Get every last drop of that banana out. And I'm going to grab a spatula and do just that. Put that in there. And now we are going to take some plain non-fat Greek yogurt. So this here right now, and we are going to do a half of a cup of that and put that in. And my secret ingredient is applesauce. So one way that you can reduce the fat in your baking is to substitute an oil or a butter for applesauce. It works in most types of baking, especially muffins. And what it also does is add wonderful moisture to your muffins. And you're going to see that when we do this. So we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of applesauce. And again, this is unsweetened. Make sure that you read the label, folks, and you get the unsweetened kind. We don't want to add any extra sugar to that. And next, we're going to take some vanilla, and we're going to do about 2 teaspoons. Again, I measure with love. So about 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then we're going to use for our sugars for this. Now, you can use all honey if you would like, but again, I'm trying to watch the sugar content on this. So you can either use a half of a cup of honey or do what I'm going to do, which is 1/4 of a cup of honey and then 1/4 of a cup of sugar-free syrup. And if you've seen me before on here, this is a handy dandy trick to get anything sticky out of a measuring cup and into the bowl without a mess. And that is put a little bit of cooking spray on there. So we're going to start with the honey. And I like to use the raw organic honey as well. Honey has such amazing health benefits. Donte, if I'm not mistaken, you said that I have you switched over to honey now.
Yep. And honestly, I don't think it's really that big of a difference.
Really?
Not really.
It's good.
I don't think it's switched.
And that's exactly the key, folks, is that you, with these healthy substitutions, they're not meant to be anything other than better for you, and you're not going to sacrifice on flavor. So we're going to get that honey in there, and it just pours right out of that measuring cup. So see, not much left in there. And we're going to do the same thing for this sugar-free syrup. And this is just a no-name brand of a sugar-free, like a pancake syrup. That aside, and we are going to whisk this all together. So get these wet ingredients all done. And you can see there's no eggs in this recipe at all. Mix that together. And that's ready to go. And now let's put those dry ingredients together. All right, now that we have our wet ingredients done and put to the side, we're going to mix up those dry ingredients. One of the key things when you're making, especially a lot of baked goods, is that you do your wet ingredients first and then your dry, and then we're going to incorporate. And with this particular recipe, because it doesn't have a lot of fat or anything in there, we're only going to just put this together and then combine it, and we're not going to mix it too much. So we want to make sure these dry ingredients are nice and mixed up first. So we are going to take our flour, and we are going to do 1.5 cups of flour. And I'm just going to pour this in here and level off with my hand. And then we're going to take some protein powder. Just use your favorite. I happen to like to use the vanilla one because it's a really good natural base flavor for a lot of my baking recipes. So we're going to put that in there. Going to take some cinnamon. And again, I measure with love. So we're going to put about a teaspoon of cinnamon in here, maybe a little bit more. And then get my measuring cup or spoon, which I dropped on the floor. And we are going to do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Level that off. And about 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. That in there. And then we're going to do just about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Again, I kind of have a pretty good idea of how much that is just with the twists and turns. So we're going to put that on there a little bit more. And we're going to take our spatula, and we're just going to very gently mix these ingredients together. And again, we want to make sure that we get this all mixed together very well, because when we incorporate the dry ingredients into the wet, we don't want to overmix it. We want to just do it enough so that it just puts together. So I love banana anything, and especially banana muffins. Banana muffins, banana bread. All right, now time to incorporate the dry into the wet. So I've got a nice big bowl here, and I'm going to put that in together. And we're going to give this a nice little stir before we add in the chocolate. One of the beautiful things about muffins is that they are so totally customizable. In this recipe, I'm going to use mini chocolate chips, but you can use chopped nuts in there if you would like to. You can throw some raisins in there, some dried fruit, whatever your heart desires. I like to use mini chocolate chips because you kind of get a little bit more bang for your buck with the size of them. You don't have to use as many. And then each bite gets a little bit of nice chocolate flavor in there. So grab yourself some mini chocolate chips if you are a chocoholic like me. Donte, you have a sweet tooth, if I don't recall, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. So I think this is going to be a good one for you. This is such a great grab and go breakfast, and these actually freeze very well. So that's it. So now we have the wet incorporated into there, and we're going to take these chocolate chips, and we're going to put just about a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips into our batter here. Delicious. These ones are just regular chocolate chips, but you can use sugar-free if you would like. They have some really amazing flavors with the chocolate chips too. There we go. And now it is time to get this into a pan and get it into the oven. All right, so we have our handy dandy muffin tin here. I love silicone muffin tins. You don't have to spray them, and they pop out of here really easily. So, you know, sometimes you have the muffins and some of it stays in the bottom, not with this. So, and I also like to use just a measuring cup to put our batter in here. And we are going to fill these just about 3/4 of the way through full. On here. This is going to make about 18 muffins. On here. And we've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees. These smell good already. The riper the bananas are, the more intense banana flavor you're going to get too. So don't sleep on saving those bananas, folks. Put them in the freezer. They're also really great for smoothies as well. And last one. All right, muffins ready to go, and let's get them in the oven. All right, so we're going to put these in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to cook these for 18 to 20 minutes. All right, so our muffins have been cooking for 20 minutes, and they are ready. And Donte, how do they smell?
They smell delicious.
All right, ooh, 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 here we go. Look at those beauties. And we are going to let these cool for just about 10 to 15 minutes, and then it is time for Tamara's favorite part of the show, the taste test. All right, let's go. All right, well, if you know anything about me, you know how much I love sweets. And even though these are protein banana muffins, they definitely have a nice sweet edge to them. So let's give them a try. Moist and delicious. Mmm. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. You would never know that there is next to any fat in these at all. These are absolutely delicious, moist and delicious, thanks to that Greek yogurt and that applesauce. Such amazing banana flavor. You're definitely going to want to try these ones, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of A Taste with Tamara Lee. And if you are enjoying me and my episodes, please make sure that you like, follow, subscribe. And until next time, I will catch you on the flip side. Stay blessed, everyone.